Did you know that in Google Gemini, you can now create custom storybooks just with an AI prompt? In this video, I'll show you how. This is going to be fun. Let's get started. Here I am at gemini.google.com, and I'm signed into my Google account, and I'll just ask Gemini to create something for me. How about a storybook of a fable called The Crow and the Pitcher? So I'll just submit that, and Google Gemini is creating a draft of a storybook. Now, these tend to be children's storybooks, and they come complete with text and illustrations. In this case, I'm creating a storybook based on a classic story, a fable, but your story doesn't have to be that. It can be about any topic that you want, pretty much. You can describe the storyline here in the Ask Gemini search box. You can specify that you want the characters to be animals or to be robots or young people or older people, whatever you prefer. So here is the story of The Crow and the Pitcher, but it's told slightly differently in this case. Instead of a pitcher, there's a glass jar. Now, I can flip through this book in a couple of different ways. I can just click here and it will go to the first page. You can see there are some great illustrations to go along with the text. And this really is the story of The Crow and the Pitcher, the classic Aesop fable. But again, it's got little different elements. So I want to make some adjustments to this. But before I do, I want to point out that in addition to browsing through your storybook in this way, you can click here to go to full screen, which will work a lot better in a lot of classrooms and other settings. Okay, I'm going to click here on this X in the upper left to get back to my Ask Gemini dialog box. And here I want to replace the glass jar with a pitcher of water. And I want to replace the walnuts with stones. And I'll click this button. And Google Gemini is now rewriting the storybook with those new elements that I've asked for. Now, you can try to be as specific as you want when you ask Gemini for these things. And so initially, instead of just saying, create a storybook based on the Aesop fable, The Crow and the Pitcher, I could have been much more specific. I could have focused on more details of the story, and this would have created a more customized and specific storybook. Okay, let's check it out. I'm going to go to full screen and I'll click. There we've got a crow instead of a squirrel. There's the pitcher of water. He's having trouble drinking from the pitcher of water. So he starts to drop stones into the pitcher and the water rises until he's able to get to the water. So we still have some elements of the story that are not quite logical or, exactly the way we might want them to be. But I love this tool and this ability that we have to work with AI in this case and continue to customize the story until it's the way we want it to be. Now, when you're done with your story, there are a few things you can do. You can click here to print the storybook. Gemini is compiling all the elements of the storybook together to make it printable for me. And when it's done, you'll have a printable version of your storybook. In addition to print, notice what we have here, the ability to listen to the book. So I'm going to go back to the first part of the book and I'll click listen.
Bran and the Pitcher of Water. Bran the Crow was flying on a very hot day. The sun was warm on his black feathers, and his throat was so dry. He needed a drink. He looked down and saw something wonderful. A tall, clear pitcher sitting on a stone wall, and inside, at the very bottom, was a little bit of cool, clear water. "Oh my," he croaked, "just what I need." He tried to reach the water with his beak.
I'll stop there, but we could listen to the entire book in this way. For now, I'll click the X, get out of it, and I want to show you a couple of other listen features that are really fantastic. If you click here on the drop-down arrow button here at the right, notice that you can lower the pitch of the narrator's voice. You can also go to a higher pitch like we had. You can start from the beginning, and you can listen in full screen or not. We also have some sharing settings with Google Gemini's Storybook Creator. If you click here on this symbol, you can get a link that will be created specifically for this storybook. And I can copy the link, share that with anyone. I could post it in an online course, like a Google Classroom course, or I could email it to someone. You can also easily share it in these ways here. Speaking of Google Classroom, if you want to learn how to use Google Classroom, please watch my videos on that topic. But Google Gemini really is one of the best ways to quickly create a storybook complete with story, characters, plot, and all the other story elements, and with illustrations. And my favorite thing about this is that it is customizable. You can adjust all the elements of the story. Just ask Gemini to make those changes. And when you're done, you have a flip book that's interactive, that you can listen to, and that you can share. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it to be helpful. If you did, please like, follow, and subscribe. And when you do, click the bell and you'll be notified when I post another video. If you'd like to support my channel, the best way to do that is to become a channel member, but you could also click the thanks button below the video. You could support me through my Patreon account or by buying channel merch, and you'll see information about those options in the description below the video.